30,000 milliwatts of power. Broadcasting almost across the valley. AM 1620, the Eagle Radio Network.
Good morning and welcome to the Saturday Morning CEO Radio Show. We are glad to have you watching us or listening to us right now. Now, I'm going to list all the places that you can watch us or hear us in case you would like to see our mug shots today. You can join us on the television. Yeah, you saying no over here. Yeah. If you're listening to us here in the Hemet San Jacinto area, you're probably listening to us on AM 1620. Or if you're in Europe, you're listening to us on satellite radio. Hello, Europe, and parts of Africa as well, and some other countries. We don't know who all's listening to us out there, but we're glad to have you with us. Or you can be listening to us on streaming on the internet, on TuneIn Radio, or some of those other online stations that carry us. And if you want to see our mug shots, if you live in Riverside County and you have Verizon Fios, join us on Channel 45 right now live, or on Time Warner Cable Channel 0 and 126, I think. Yeah, 126. That sounds good. Or you can watch us streaming live on the internet anywhere in the world, including the International Space Station, which I understand gets internet. Don't know if they watch the show, but we're trying to find that out and let you know. But we are on smradio.org/YouTube, and you'll be able to watch us live right there. So welcome this morning. We are so glad to have you here. We've got a great show today. Today I want to introduce first my guest co-host today, Mr. Koby. Koby is in the house.
Good morning, in the house. Yes, indeed.
How you doing, Koby Dumas?
I'm
Good to have you here.
Doing great, doing great. Glad to be here.
So Koby, just to give you a little background, is he used to be a corporate guy, and then he repented and has started his own business. He does some video work on the side and has his own direct sales business. So Koby, what's been going on with you?
Man, direct sales is actually awesome for me. I work for a company called Kivana. We supply natural products, revolutionary products, and they're helping a lot of people. You can find us at www.allabouttheq.com, www.allabouttheq.com, and you can find out all about us. And on the flip side of that, we show people who have no time and no extra money how to create that. So I look for people that say, I don't have the time to do it.
Oh, that's really good. Well, I appreciate that, and I'm glad that you are here with us today. We've got a lot of unnatural products that are out there right now, right? So natural products are a good thing to get your hands on.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, we've got a great show today. We've got Marie Waite. Marie Waite is I don't think she realizes how much good she does in the community, but we're going to talk a little bit about Marie and then welcome her on here. Marie is a real estate agent in the Temecula Valley area of Southern California here. And she also, in addition to that, she's a mom of 2 kids, and she must have had all this extra free time, so she started a couple of associations too. She's started the Finest Women in Real Estate group, and also the Inland Valley Business Community Foundation, the IVBCF, which I just joined, and I can't remember all the letters yet, but they're a great group of people that are networking together, and Marie is balancing all these things. And if you saw all our advertisements on Facebook or Twitter or Google Plus or any of those places, then you noticed that we talked about balancing, and we're going to talk about balancing all these things today. So Marie, welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome, Marie.
Hey, it's good to have you here. Why don't you tell our audience, you guys out there want to probably get to know her a little bit, so why don't you tell everybody about your background. And in fact, you weren't you didn't start out here in the United States, did you?
No, I was born and raised in the Philippines and grew up there. And just so you know, my family was actually famous in karate. My grandfather was known to be the founder of karate in the Philippines. And
Wow.
yeah, and my dad and my uncle were both famous actors for making karate movies in the 70s.
Whoa.
So that's the kind of family I have in there. We're kind of a little bit famous in the Philippines.
No,
Oh, wow.
that's great.
Nice.
I like that. So kind of the well, would you say the Chuck Norris of the Philippines or something?
Well, maybe my mom, because my mom was the first female black belter.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, there you go. It's a family of karate experts.
Chucky Norris, the
So
women's. version.
how's your skills in karate?
Actually, I know all the techniques, but if you don't practice it, you really lose the instinct of doing it. But I do know the
Wow.
basics and the secrets of karate.
We
Oh,
better
nice.
be nice to her.
Yeah, still gotta be nice.
That's got
Practicing
me
or not.
scared a little bit.
Practicing or not.
So tell us then, how did you wind up coming to the United States, and tell us a little bit about your transition here, and then how did you get started in real estate?
Well, as I mentioned, my family were famous in karate, so because of that, there's not a lot of Filipino that are really, trying to court me because they're afraid of my dad. And I also have three brothers, so all of those, they're all intimidated by, coming to me. So the only people that would, go and see me are the people that don't know my family. So I ended up marrying an American because he didn't know anything about my family.
Yeah, that's good.
And it was a blessing because I met my first husband, he was an engineer for Intel Corporation, and that's how I ended up here in United States.
Ah,
Yes.
the geek, computer geek.
Yes. He's very smart. I like smart guys.
Oh, that's great.
Nothing
That's
wrong with
great.
smart guys.
So tell us about your road to becoming a real estate agent.
Well, when I moved here in United States, I actually ended up owning a lot of real estate properties. My first husband and I were in the same page when it comes to real estate. So I bought a lot of properties, multi-units, and I managed them myself. And from there, I realized I like real estate, and it's always been my passion. So when I ended up in San Diego, I started getting into the real estate business.
So what does it take to become a real estate agent?
Well, I think you really need to love people. The first thing, you need to love people because you'll need to have a lot of patience in showing homes and educating them in regards to making decisions in buying homes. There's a lot to it because I was myself as a client with a lot of real estate agents, and there were things that I wanted from the real estate agent to do for me, and it was hard for me to get that. So I started thinking that I could do this for people that are buying homes. So you have to have that passion in real estate, I guess.
I like your answer about loving really caring about the people, because I've worked with some real estate agents before that care more about houses than they do of people. So I think that's good that you've got the right focus there. And I think that's true in any business. Would you agree that, you've been involved in some other businesses now with these associations. So do you think really focusing on the customer rather than being the expert in whatever product or service that you provide is more important?
Yes. I think even when I'm dealing with not just the clients, even with real estate agents, you always have to keep that in mind in providing good service. And when I started in the real estate business, I realized that the relationship between real estate agents weren't really that good, and I said to myself, it doesn't have to be that way. We can all treat each other very nice and professional, and because we have to work with each other no matter what, even though we're working for different companies, we still have to treat each other very nice, and
Right. right.
and professional.
What I'm interested in the cultural differences of the Philippines. Can you think of what what skills you might have picked up from the Philippines, or what the culture was there that maybe helped with customer service here in the United States? Because customer service is not as big a deal here as it used to be in the United States.
I think it was more about my upbringing, with learning more about my dad and how he treated the people in the Philippines, because he was also a very well respected official in the Philippines, and he protected a lot of the people that are in need. And it's really amazing what he has done for people, and watching him doing that kind of protection, I realized how I learned so much from it, and that I'm also doing that over here. Then on my mom's side, my mom is a very social person and very kind, and I think if you know how much connections I have, I think she has double of that. She's very good to people, and she pretty much make everybody, her friends. And because of that upbringing from my parents, was able to take that here and learn how to lead people and learn how to be kind to people. And that's just what my basic things that I do with everything that I started in this community.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad to see that you're crediting your family for giving you some of that background. I know the Philippines is pretty good in generally speaking, as I've written some different articles and done some research in business. A very business-minded group of people that, in fact, the Philippines are kind of taking over a lot of the call center business that used to be in India and Pakistan. They speak better English there. They have better customer service with people, and so a lot of entrepreneurs in the Philippines have started those up. So I didn't know if that was a more common thing in the culture, or if you felt it was just your own individual family that was picking that idea up of caring for other people.
Well, I know that Filipinos are very hardworking people. I mean, they love to educate themselves. And when it comes to the language, English is pretty much, what they use there. But when I moved here, I struggled with the English communication. When I was in Albuquerque, it took me about 2 years to really learn the language. And I was very fortunate to have to live in Albuquerque, because the people there were very nice and very laid back, very supportive. And when I started working there, I was just a clerk, and they helped me get through that language barrier, and I was able to get myself promoted because of the support of the people that were in there. So the language itself is very difficult for me, but I did struggle and went through that process.
Well, even though you were learning English, or you spoke English in the Philippines, it is different here. In fact, I
Yes.
lived in Tennessee and in Mississippi before, and that's a different language down there. My English teacher told us what we'd be fixing to do the next day. And I remember once selling some insurance, and I was looking for a house, and actually stopped at somebody's house who was really whittling wood with a shotgun next to them on their porch, and asked them if they knew where the Smiths lived or whatever, and they said, yeah, you got to go 2 Farsees down into the valley, and then you want to go down into the holler. About the 3rd tree is where you go down to their driveway. So I had to learn what a holler was. A holler is a little dip in the valley, where you holler into, and a Farsee is there's a lot of hills there, so you look as far as you can see. That's that's one Farsee, and you
Wow.
go to that one. So a lot of slang, I'm sure that you had to pick up too, in the area too.
Yes.
So,
Well, they sometimes made fun of me because of some of the words that I say.
gotcha.
They had a good time, making fun of it. I'm okay with that, because I was learning from it.
Right. So adapting into the area took some time, I'm sure. So so you started out as a clerk, you said,
Yes,
and so did you experience kind of the working your way up process?
I
or-
did, because part of it is just understanding the people in that environment, and learning how they are and how they react on things that I say. I mean, that's a big part of what I have to understand. And then from there, I was able to move up to talking on the phone. It's like insurance collection. So I ended up talking
Okay.
to more people. I was able to practice my communication there. And then my boss at that time understood that I had a bachelor's degree in computer, and he promoted me to a computer position, computer programming position.
Oh, nice.
So you're kind of a
So-
techie person yourself, too,
Yes,
then.
I am. I actually love computer programming, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's good. What
Yes.
what languages do you like to program in?
Well, I did when I was in Albuquerque. I actually went for the C++ programming. We
Okay.
did some base. I mean, in college, I took basic COBOL. At that time, they were all old programming
Yeah.
languages. But when I was in Albuquerque, I took the C++ programming, and that was really a complex programming. Now, what I do is I actually get into more on the software applications. I'm very good at Excel, PowerPoint, and all of those software applications.
Very good. Well, I'm dating myself, but I used to program in binary and hexadecimal, old machine languages. So
Yeah, I remember those.
I was a hardware guy. So for those of you out there listening right now that know what those things are, hey, we need to have lunch.
It's all foreign to me.
There's too many. Yeah, there's too many. All these youngsters around us. We don't know what's going on. Well, listen, we're going to go to break here in about a minute, and when we come back, we want to find out. You had a little secret, a little help from an organization that you joined that helped you with your communication.
Yes.
So when we come back, we'll talk about what that little secret is, and it's an organization that's pretty popular out there. So, but a lot of people may not know about it. So we'll talk about that when we come back. So remember that you can visit our website anytime at smradio.org, and you can see archives there. You can learn a little bit more about us there. You can click on some of the tabs on the top, and you can read my book, The Saturday Morning CEO, or you can visit some of the other things that we do there. There's a TV show that we do from 9:30 to 10:30 on cable. That's the Saturday Morning Success Talk Show. So you can learn about that there also. Then. Welcome back to the Saturday Morning CEO Radio Show. We are so glad to have you here. We wish we could see you in the camera lens, but we know that you can see us in it. So we're glad to be able to share a little bit of information with you, whether you're a brand new entrepreneur trying to start your first business, or you're trying to grow your business right now in this crazy economy. We hope that we can share some great ideas with you with a little bit of fun and relaxation. So it is okay to make mistakes, and it is okay to have a little bit of fun. You should. Don't you think you should have fun in your business? What do you guys think?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Good. So one of the big things that we talked about before we went to break was the secret that has helped Marie out with her communication. So why don't you tell us, reveal the secret organization that has helped you, Marie?
Well, the secret is Toastmasters.
Toastmasters.
Yes.
Wow. Isn't that the thing you put bread in and make it get hard and put butter on it? No?
No. Now, Toastmaster is a group of people that aspire to learn public speaking. And when the reason I found out about Toastmasters is because at that time I was really in a struggle with my communication, and I said to myself, it's time to face this fear. I had to figure out how to take care of this, and I went through the internet and found Toastmasters.
Wow, you just found them on the internet.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, that is great. When I first started in Toastmasters, there was no internet yet.
Oh, wow. What exactly did it help you improve with? I mean, how did that process work for you?
When I found this Toastmaster club in Carlsbad at that time, I went there, and there were a lot of professional people in there. It was very intimidating for me, and when I sat there, I said to myself, "Oh my God, I don't know how I can even say my word or my name." I was so afraid. It's just that nervous is there. So, but I said to myself, "No, I'm gonna have to deal with this and face my fear." And I said, I'll go ahead and do it. So I talked to the group and I introduced myself, and from then on, I ended up speaking a lot more than, than I can. So I was happy with
Just
that.
jump right through that fear, huh?
Yes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's great. So, what did you find? Did the people seem to be helpful in Toastmasters once you got to know them, or did it take very long to get to know them? Or
No, as soon as I became a member, they assigned a mentor. And actually, that mentor became a big part of my life. His name is Al Cooper. He coached me. He knew that.
you give a shout out to Al. Hey, Al.
Yes, Al. But to be honest with you, Al is already, he passed away.
Oh, sorry to hear
I
that.
think they can pick us up on Facebook. I hope.
But Al Cooper was very generous. He took the time to come to my house and help me with my grammar, with writing the speech.
Oh, great.
He was an amazing person from Toastmaster. I was very, very blessed to have met him, and he helped me get through my insecurities. And at that time, I just got out of my divorce, and there was a lot of personal issues that I had to deal with, and he was there for me too at the same time.
You know, the nice thing about a mentor too, especially someone like Al, who's now passed away, is he hasn't totally passed away because he was a mentor. He's got a little bit of himself in you.
Yes.
So I'm sure that you can still, rely back on the things.
I was working. He would help me with some of my business presentation. He was just an amazing person. He was there for me the entire time. He became a very, very good friend of mine. So when he passed away, it was such a heartbreaking time for me.
How long did it take you to go through that program?
It was actually a very when I did the first, I would say, first 2-3 speeches, and when I ended up getting the best speaker blue ribbon, I stopped going to Toastmaster, but I continued with Al Cooper with his mentorship because I was so busy with my work at that time, and then I also got married and have 2 kids, so it took a lot of my time taking care of my family.
Absolutely.
So Toastmasters is that Koby has not been a member of Toastmasters yet, so we're trying to talk him into it here on the show, and it's actually really a lifelong club that you can belong to, and they have all kinds of advanced manuals that you can get to. But the very first speech you give is called the Icebreaker,
Yes.
where you just talk a little bit about yourself, and they kind of work you in, and some of the talks might be specifically about using body language or using visual aids, and so you focus on those things, and then someone will evaluate you, which is awesome. So I think it's a lifelong program that you can stay in as long as you want to.
That's awesome.
What I did too is I actually went back to Toastmasters in 2006, and it's here now in Temecula. I joined again, and for 2 years in a row, I was the president of the club.
Wow.
And I brought those clubs with a lot of people because I believe in it. I know that it does a lot of good things for people. So I was very passionate about being in Toastmaster.
So we've got we may have 40 to 60,000 people listening right now, and many are business owners. So what do you have to tell them about the importance of learning how to speak well in any business? I mean, why should they go to Toastmasters?
I think there's a lot of reasons you can go to Toastmaster. For me, I went back to Toastmaster because I wanted to really continue the skills on the leadership side of it. If you really wanted to be a public speaker and wanted to get paid and really, or just, let people hear your voice by giving all your opinions and, perspectives in life, I think Toastmaster is the perfect place for you. I really think that Toastmaster can expand your knowledge, your education level, because of all the people that are going in there. They're in different types of, these are all different types of people with different backgrounds. It's just an amazing group of people that you will meet in the group.
Yeah, it's great. Even though it's geared towards giving a speech, maybe on stage or in front of a group of people, I've noticed that it helps a lot with my one-on-one communication too. So it's definitely something that you want to try. You mentioned something a little bit earlier that Al had kind of helped you through while you went through a divorce, and divorce is up like 60%, I think, or something in the U.S. So is that something? Would you mind sharing a little bit about how did you maintain your positive thinking in your real estate business and in the other things that you were doing in life during such a difficult time like that?
Um, I think part of it is that learning from my parents on being strong and really knowing who you are had really put me in that position. I think the divorce, and going back and really understanding what happened, is that I was young and I was naive, and I think
Well, you're still young.
but at that time, my parents were all both working parents, and with the culture that they grew up, they didn't really communicate with me in regards to having an open communication when it comes to preparing yourself into getting into a relationship. And for me, the only thing that I can think of is, okay, I get married and there you go. I think we'll have a family. What I didn't understand is that the partner I have didn't really want to have any kids, and he didn't want to. We were not in the same page when it comes to where we want to end up in life. So we were not in the same page.
So, so my question then would be, I've met some other folks who have had businesses that have had some failures. We've had a Don Purdom, one guest who's on, is a prior Army chaplain, and he works with couples who work together in their business. And what I'd like to ask you, it seems to be a normal trend, and maybe this happened with you also. Did you find that by putting some more energy into your business at the time, does that help kind of ground you or give you some foundation in yourself and in what you're doing when you're going through something like a divorce?
Yeah, it does help because when you communicate with other people and really you discover a lot of skills that you.
That's one of the guests we've had on, and a frequent co-host, Larry Broughton, likes to say often that losing is not just for failure is not just for losers anymore. In other words, you can be a winner and fail, and that's important to fail as long as we learn from it. So that's definitely something that we want to focus on, is learning from things. So I'd like to ask you about these groups that you formed. Let's first talk about the IVBCF, which is the Inland Valley Business Community Foundation. Did I say that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. I might be making progress here. This is a good thing. So what was it that got you thinking about starting some kind of a group like that?
Well, I was also starting my real estate at that time when I realized that it was a down market. I realized that a lot of businesses are really struggling, not just the real estate, even the other businesses that I know. And I said, hey, why not help them? So I decided to start a business expo, and I think I had about 26 or 30 vendors at that time. And
Wow.
I said to everybody, hey, if we all work together and if we help each other, we can make this work regardless of what the economy is doing. So I was able to bring in 10 business owners to work with me because I said, I want to move forward. I want to do another event and help other businesses. So they were on board with me, and we started this huge event at Chaparral High School, and we had like 107 vendors from there. So I saw right away that there was a demand, and people were very excited, and they said, Marie, you have to be a nonprofit. Okay, so I said, okay, we'll be a nonprofit. And with that, I saw how the miracles. I saw how people were helping each other. They were very inspired by, starting a relationship with, the business within the community. And I said, this is it. This is my calling, and I'm going to move forward and keep going and make sure that, this happens for a lot of people.
Oh, so how are they helping each other? Can you share maybe one story of something that you saw how they were helping each other out?
Well, one is when we had this event at Chaparral High School, we were all preparing for it, and the communication and the brainstorming of ideas on what we need to do for that event was amazing. And because of that, we were all excited. And I think it because of that kind of relationship that we were all after for the positive growth of our community is, it opened up to where, we feel like we're all friends and we're like family. And because of that, it was easy to talk about business. It wasn't so much about, right away you talk about business. It was about the relationship. And when you see that you create that relationship, right, the business is so easy.
Gotcha.
And I think that's the best way to do it. You start giving first. And when you give, you see that people will just keep giving back to you. I mean, that's how it works.
And what was that? What's the website for that?
It's ivbcf.com.
ivbcf.com.
Yes.
Very good. Now, how about this other group, the Finest Women in Real Estate?
Okay, the Finest Women in Real Estate started because I was so busy with the IVBCF, and these women were in the IVBCF also. They were part of our events like the fashion show and some of the entertainment, and I was admiring these women because they are in the real estate business. They're beautiful, they're smart, and I said, hey, I like to work with them, but I know they're working for other companies. But at that time I said, I have a lot of clients coming to me, and I still believe that, customer service is number one, and I want to make sure that if I'm not available, I can give them to a real estate agent that is reputable and that is really reliable. And I talked to this woman. I said, hey, you know that you understand what I am after with, for the community in helping them. Would you support me in helping me with the real estate business? And they all said yes.
Wow.
And
That's
how
awesome.
we formed it.
Oh, that's really good. I like that. It's all about helping each other, and that's
Yes.
the big thing. So, well, good. Well, we're going to take another break here in just about a minute. And when we come back, we want to talk a little bit more about the actual balancing act now. We've talked about everything that you do.
Okay.
And try to find out, you've got a couple kids too, right? How old are your
Yes.
kids?
My daughter is 17 years old, and my son is 12 years
Well,
old.
you got to shout out to them. Say hello.
Hi, Shannon and Garrett. I love you.
All right. Yeah, I love you over the air. Awesome. Great kids. Well, good. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about how Marie balances her family and the IVBCF and the Finest Women in Real Estate and her own real estate business just after this short little break. So remember that you can watch us on smradio.org/YouTube, or you can actually, hang on, I'm playing with the cameras here. If you're watching all these little boxes move around. If you're listening on the air, you can't see any of it. But if you're watching us, then you can see me playing around. Anyway, you can be watching us on Channel 45 on Verizon Fios, channels 126 and 0 on Time Warner Cable. We'll be back right after this.
For the California Dental Association, Christy Yamaguchi.
As an Olympian and daughter of a dentist, I know the importance of having healthy teeth and a bright, healthy smile. Tooth decay is the #1 childhood disease, more than asthma and obesity. That's why a new state law requires that kindergartners receive a dental checkup. So parents, prepare your children for school. Take your child to see a dentist. It'll make you smile too.
For more information, call 800-CDA-SMILE.
Do you suffer from the heartbreak of brain rot, feeling bored, sluggish, listless, not had a new idea in days? Using electronic gizmos without a clue why they work? Now there's help. Ham radio, guaranteed to stimulate your corroding neurons and open a whole new world of excitement. To learn more about ham radio, go to helloradio.org.
Side effects of ham radio usage include mental stimulation, desire for education, new career paths, understanding of technology, and cases of addiction have been reported. If you experience any of these symptoms, you're welcome.
Ham radio. It's not your granddaddy's radio anymore.
They were outnumbered, out-equipped. They had no chance of winning, but they had one huge advantage: General George Washington.
The fate of unborn millions will now depend, under God, on the courage and conduct of this army. We have to resolve to conquer or die.
Just as the leadership of one man helped form a nation, today leadership can transform the world. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
It's like FM without the commercials. It's like XM without the quality. It's AM 1620, the Eagle Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Saturday Morning CEO Radio Show. We are so glad that you're here visiting with us and with Marie Waite and with my co-host today, Mr. Koby Dumas. Good to have you. So we, when we left, we told you that we were going to, did we tell you anything? I don't remember. Did we tell them anything? Nah, we wanted to surprise you when we came back. And, oh no, we're going to talk about balancing. See, I had to juggle all that in my mind. And that's why I said it that way, so that it would lead us into this part of our segment of balancing. So we talked about the IVBCF, the finest women in real estate. She did a shout out to her kids, so we know she's got the family to maintain. So, and her real estate business. How do you possibly balance this? And now you're a big, radio star here on Saturday morning. So how do you balance your life like this?
I'm not sure about balancing, the word balancing, because to be honest with you, I mix business with pleasure.
Okay.
So when I go out there, I really have fun and I talk to a lot of people. I just enjoy being around people. And at the same time, I think about connecting people in different ways. It's just, it's the style of communication. You effectively try to understand who you're talking to and understand their strengths and their connections, and then my mind starts thinking about how I can connect them with other people, and it becomes a business.
So I guess you can't distinguish between business and fun.
Yes, I always
it
combine
becomes the same. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, that's good, and that's kind of the theme of our show. We try to have a little fun talking about business. So you're the right guest for today. That's for sure. So when you, how about scheduling and stuff? I mean, that's something that has to be done. Do you keep a calendar? Do you like to use a written calendar? Have you got stuff all online, high-techy stuff, or?
I actually have a schedule. If people need to meet with me, I would say, okay, I'm available at this time, and I have time to meet with them, like I would say an hour for them, but then the rest is for myself, for my family, and for my friends. And
Good.
I always make sure that I have those times for those things.
It's important.
Yes.
Yeah, we have like special, family nights and date nights. I have to say, my wife and I have been married 25 years. Just was it last week or something? We went deep sea fishing for our 25th wedding anniversary. But the secret is, I'd say for the last 12 years, we have not missed a date night once a week in, I think, about 12 years. So that's definitely important to schedule that time like you're doing for family and for friends and other things too, and not just business. First part of my marriage, I remember saying, well, I can't do this. I got this appointment or that appointment. Well, she never had an appointment with me, So that wasn't good. So it's good that you're scheduling your time like that. Gosh, I said that nice and fast, didn't I?
Yes.
I'm getting there.
You're getting there.
I see. I mean, now I can't do it. IVBCF. Yeah. Anyway, what are some of the things that you do? What are the activities that you do? And do you have stuff coming up anytime soon?
Yes. IVBCF provides networking events, educational classes, and we also do a lot of community events, which are really fun. One of the upcoming events that we have is the fashion show. In our fashion show, we actually bring adult women and young women and help one company that is in the clothing business. And so you're pretty much combining business and community because they're helping business owner, and they're also it helps them as a business professional getting the exposure for helping other people. So it's a very strategic way of networking and helping the community at the same time. And then what happens with this fashion show is some of the young teenagers, they ended up being part of IVBCF because they wanted to connect with the businesses. And it's such a creative way of seeing how they all connect. So
What are the requirements for becoming a part of the IVBCF?
well, number one is if you are a business professional, you just have to join. And, joining the IVBCF is only paying like $75 a year. And then you become part of our events, like the community events. You either be part of preparing the events or be one of the entertainers or be one of the vendors. So there's a lot of ways that you can get involved in our community events. And then for the networking events, you can attend some of the breakfast networking that we have that is actually happening on November 7th at My Big Fat Greek Restaurant at 10 o'clock in the morning. And the president of IVBCF, his name is Steve Malley. He is actually a professor and a business consultant who is going to help these businesses, network in that event.
Yeah,
So
Steve's
yes.
an old friend of mine. Hey,
Yes.
Steve, how you doing, buddy?
He's an amazing gentleman and a member of our organization. He is actually the one that reorganized IVBCF to where we had a small number of members. Now we are reaching 100 members in the organization.
Oh, that's great. I think I said I was going to try to make it to that too. That's on a Tuesday coming up, right?
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And 10 o'clock, November 6th.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, that'll be great.
Yes.
So it's so the events that you have are opportunities to network. I actually got banned from one. I offered to be a model in the fashion show. I mean, what's up with that?
To be honest with you, I had a list of guys that were part of our fashion show, and they were insurance agents. They were the manager of a hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, we had really amazing guys that also participate in the fashion show. It is all about fun, you guys. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. You can mix business with pleasure. And you just have to be creative and just be open up with the ideas. I have a lot of good ideas, you guys, and if you join our group, you will have so much fun with us.
That's
Awesome.
right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I was going to model for the Army Navy surplus store. They had some things that I could wear.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
Came with my own sponsor.
One thing that I wanted to mention is that IVBCF also affiliates with other organizations, and one of the really exciting organizations that we are affiliated with is the Build Leaders organization. They're starting a strategic business summit event on November 7, I believe, at the Riverside Airport, and we have 6 amazing panel speakers in there. And I actually have the names of the speakers.
Oh, yeah,
if
tell
you are
us.
interested. They are, let's see, here we go. We have Amro Albana, who is the chairman and CEO of Innovation Economy Crowd. We have Mayor Rusty Bailey of City of Riverside. We have Mark Kern, lead officer, planning and revenue strategy of Surf Air. Kathy Walsh, managing partner of Business Waste Management. Garner Holt, founder and president of Garner Holt Productions. And last, Ben Stieg, co-founder and VP engineering of True Touch Technologies.
That's great.
Amazing people.
Yeah. Now, is that on the IVBCF.com
Yes.
website too?
Yes.
Does it mention? Okay, great. So they can get to that.
If you go to the calendar of events, you'll see all the events that we have.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. And what? How about the finest women in real estate? Now, is that something that people can join? I would assume they have to be in real estate and they have to be a fine woman.
Actually, the Finest Women in Real Estate is exclusive to the 5 agents right now because it is a collaboration
I see.
of so many things that we wanted to do. Like, for example, we are planning to do a community event. We wanted to produce a lot of educational videos for the clients that are subscribing into our website. If they're looking for homes, we wanted to give them some educational information, like, if they're just wanting to learn about mortgage or home inspection. We have some articles in the website, and we have some trivia questions that they will be able to participate and learn more about those types of information, and then it helps them make better decisions in buying homes. So a lot of educational is our focus, a lot of the collaboration within the business resources and the agents themselves. And then it's just really, effective communication with the people.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
That's great. So what I want to do is make sure that people understand what's the best way that they like. What if they live in the Temecula area and they want to buy or sell a home and contact you as a real estate agent? Do you have a website?
Yes.
For that?
We have the finestwomeninrealestate.com, and what they can do is they can go in there. They can.
Is it the finestwomeninrealestate.com?
No, it's just finest
women
in real estate.
In realestate.com.
Yes. What they'll see in the website is they'll be able to access homes information. They'll have an immediate contact with the agents. Even with the business resources, we have a couple of home inspectors. We have 5 mortgage loan officers. We have landscape designers. We have an interior decorator. We have a title representative, an escrow service representative, even a lawyer. We have a lawyer in there. So if they wanted to just connect with someone and they need some information, they can send them an email with a question. Right away, they get the answer.
Awesome.
Wow. That sounds like a good. I didn't realize what all was involved in that process, but now that you explained that, that's so it's kind of a one-stop place to come.
Exactly.
Anything about buying or selling a home.
Yes, it is all, like I said, we're focused on educating people, and we wanted to make sure that they have the experts within the real estate business that they can go to. And the videos are going to be produced every quarter. We're going to produce some videos about, maybe mortgage and escrow or specific topics on titles. So those are the videos that we're going to put in the website.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
That is great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And what area do you serve for those of you out there that are listening?
Oh, we've pretty much covered a lot because the 5 agents, actually, one of the agents speaks Spanish, the other one speaks Tagalog, the other one is in the military, and then we have an agent who is very well versed in HUD homes. They are expert in short sales. They cover area from San Diego all the way down to Orange County and Moreno Valley, Hemet, San Jacinto. We're covering a lot of areas, so I would say we would cover at least 90% of their needs in there.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, very good, very good. And with the IVBCF, and some of those folks, I think that Steve is also in Toastmasters. Is that right?
That's correct. That's how I met him.
Okay. All right. So there's some crossover in some of these organizations too.
That's right.
What would you say a business owner, a brand new business owner that's starting up a business, what are some of the organizations that you can think of that would be good for a new business person to join to start to get to know people?
I would say if they connect with me first,
Absolutely,
I will connect them to my 3,000 connections.
Oh, good.
No,
Connection on the way.
Yes. Well, I really like to promote people. I like to connect people. The way I look at it is like we're like marbles. We're all connected in God's hands. And that's just the way I look at it. So if someone needs help in promoting their business, I really encourage them to join IVBC because right away I'll able to get all their information, their profile, their biography, and I'll ask them to give me articles, and then I'll ask them to participate in our community events because that's where I can introduce them face to face with the other members of the organization. It's just really, I'm very passionate about helping people in the business. It's
Good.
just, like I said, it's my calling, and I think this is really why I exist in the world. If you believe in something that you are called for, you just have to do it. And that's
Right.
what I do. I don't get paid in this organization, just so you know. This is all volunteer. I love what I do, and this is, so business people, if you really need some help on promoting your business, just come to me, and I will definitely be there for you.
Good. And what should somebody look for, like if they're listening to us right now in Europe or something, if they're not in this area, what type of an organization is it that they would look for? I mean, I know there's like chambers of commerce and other organizations. You want to find a group that, I'm probably answering my question as I'm asking it, but one that serves the community is probably.
One is, definitely join any group. And, there's going to be group that are small, and like the chamber is a pretty large organization that you can meet a lot of people. But one thing that you have to remember when you go into this organization is that you make your connection. And there are a few things that I wanted to share, because when I go out to a networking event or to any kind of mixers, one thing, I have few things that I follow. One is, when you go to a networking mixer, is you eat first. When you're happy, you really get to show your happiness when you're talking to people. You end up smiling right away, and you.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, it is. You got to eat first, and then be happy, and
Love to
then
eat.
start talking to people. When you talk to people, learn how to listen and really assess them first before you start giving your information, because really you're there to connect, and so you need to learn the people that you are meeting, not so much about yourself.
Right.
What some people say, what's in it for you or what's in it for me, I always think what's in it for them. So if you think that way, and you start listening and listen for keywords when you're talking to people, and you can communicate well with them.
That's a great set of tips for people in networking, because networking when you just go to a mixer or something can be kind of a pain too. You're waiting to talk to that person over there, and there's a few other people hanging around, and you wind up having to try to shake somebody off who is talking to you that you really don't see a connection with, and it's difficult to maneuver that process. So if they get involved in an organization like you have, where it isn't just necessarily a mixer, but you're actually getting involved, some of the events are community service, when you work side by side to accomplish something, I think you get to know people pretty well that way.
And sometimes, I go to mixer without really talking about business. I'm there to just, establish a relationship, because you keep meeting them in different events, and you just say hi to them. Just they remember your face, and you just have a little connection here and there all the time. It is also about relationship. It takes time to build the relationship, and you just you understand that you're investing every time you see them. You're investing a very good part of the relationship.
So leave us just with one golden nugget as we wind up this hour for a brand new business person. Trying to balance everything. Well, what's one big tip that you can think of that would be good for them to try to get their life organized?
Okay. One thing is, be very open, be very proactive. You have to get out of your office and go out there and meet people. And even, you can stop by any businesses around you and just say hi and introduce yourself. Don't be afraid. Always make sure that you're always willing to help. That's the first thing. Always willing to help. Check the businesses around you. See what you can do for them.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate that. And we're really glad to have you on the show today. Koby and I enjoyed chatting with you and getting to know some of your knowledge and sharing that with all of you out there that are watching and listening to us. So I wanted to share with you what we're going to start doing here soon, so you can start thinking about this. Is we've got going to have a new segment that we'll be starting up probably in a couple of weeks now, where we're going to be giving out some Gold Star Customer Service Awards to businesses in the area.
Oh, nice.
And we want you to be keeping your eyes peeled for businesses that you think deserve that. So I'm talking to a couple of businesses right now to be a sponsor and arranging the plaques to be made up that'll go on their wall that we'll send out to them. So keep your eyes peeled for some great customer service out there. We'll be adding that segment here in hopefully just a couple more weeks. So keep that in mind. And as you go about your week and get ready to watch us again next Saturday morning, be well and be working and be positive. Have a good one.